of shit is exciting going into this Raw and SmackDown. This is the go home show. This is going to be lately uploaded, kind of a combo upload with SmackDown that just recently ended last night because I knew I forgot something out of my head, and that was that atrocious episode of SmackDown, the go home show before goddamn Crown Jewel. And Crown Jewel is just 24 hours before the next Raw, SmackDown. But here's the thing. Crown Jewel ended at 12. Started at 12, and SmackDown starts at fucking 8. So, the point of this was no reason other than to build up a personal rivalry with Cain Velasquez. But this was intuitive for a feud with Rey Mysterio, that a majority of his feuds come up with him being injured or him looking like a little bitch, and then Dominic's fat ass being injured or hurt because he's fat and he can take a punch. So, we didn't care. We had a Hulk Hogan come out, blow to blows, trying to think he can insult Ric Flair. Coming around with mainly midgets on his team, with saying that he has bad breath, and Shorty G dressing like he's a special needs basketball all-star. Shinsuke Nakamura, we have Hulk Hogan burying Sami Zayn's entire wrestling existence. I swear to God, he would be more over as El Generico, because the only over thing about Sami Zayn is his goddamn theme song and pretty good promo ability. Other than that, no one cared about this entire promo of Ollie and Shorty G thinking that they deserve time on the mic and cutting off Hulk Hogan. It's like, go ahead, brother, shut up, bitch. No one cares. Calling Nakamura a young boy. And then thinking that he knows most of these faggots, even though he knows if this was back in Hogan's prime days, back in the Hogan era, or back in the 80s when he was on AWA, before he went to WWF, them bitches would be squashed except Roman Reigns because he's a bit taller. Other than that, no one gives a damn. The main event was just a 6-man tag with a majority of the guys missing because it's on Raw. So obviously they wanted to keep it brand neutral. So you get to see Ricochet and McIntyre on Raw, while Shorty G, Roman Reigns, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Baron Corbin's on SmackDown. And Cesaro taking over Sami Zayn's place because they've forgotten he hasn't wrestled in over a few months now. Since he was literally popularized for coming back after an injury, then losing his first match, and it was for the Intercontinental Championship when he faced off against Finn Balor. Then he comes off making these random promos all over just complaining that he's a heel, but he gets nothing beneficial out of it. And then he comes managing Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Champion. And Nakamura, it would be cool if he was manager, because obviously he has no speaking ability, but it's coming from a French Canadian in America managing a fucking Japanese fluent wrestler. This makes no sense. None of this does. Majority of the show made no sense. We had Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode defeat the New Day without Xavier Woods out of a leg injury he suffered later on, I think earlier on last month. So sadly, they did show him in a video in a bit of a little video chat, and displayed him to the crowd that he's doing all right. All this nigga was doing is on a fucking little bike, making it streaming and fapping to his old sex tapes of Paige coming around, then losing when the Revival attacked. Kofi just did his generic little roll down while Big E was doing his power slam from the outside. A reversal neckbreaker was pretty much a highlight of the show. Heavy Machinery came and saved the New Day out of the Revival that attacked him after the match. Nothing was really that impressive with this match, except maybe it ended by disqualification. Other than that, no one cared, and this was supposed to promo the Tag Team Turmoil match. And this is after fucking Otis ate protein powder with pancake batter. So something like that, obviously I do not care. I don't care. Most of Crown Jewel is like a filler arc of professional wrestling, except this is canon. All of this is canon. Bray Wyatt winning the Universal Championship, canon. Cain Velasquez literally had a fake fight against two legit UFC fighters in Saudi Arabia, canon. Women that are fully clothed in a wrestling match in a Saudi Arabian crowd, they should have made it the avoidance match. You know what an avoidance match is? You accidentally tear up the shirt. One of the kids are allowed from the nosebleeds to chuck a rock at Natalia. We had Lacey Evans face off against Cameron Connors. And it just ended with Lacey Evans coming around, making a promo that the generic promo, like, y'all don't have to watch me wrestle. I just let the nigger boys rape me. And comes around out of nowhere, just rushes in for a surprise woman's right for a simple little squash match. That wasn't even ingenious. That was just wasting everybody's time. Lacey Evans isn't that much of an interesting wrestler to begin with. It was an outdated trope that Molly Holly made relevant, and that bitch got shaved bald for that. And most of her wrestling just comes around stealing most of Charlotte's moveset with a stupid, goddamn striking finisher that I would clap so hard if Umaga came back to life and just hit one more Samoan spike to a long naked person. Then see Lacey Evans wrestle. I'm going over this quickly because I really didn't care. Then we had an aired Firefly Funhouse segment over Ramblin' Rabbit coming back to life after a funeral being held to him after I think that Hell in a Cell demonstration or something else. Whatever Mercy just ate him because it's like, you jerk. It was funny at least. I guess that kept my spirits up, but other than that, no one cares. No one cares because the main event is a six-man tag involving six jobbers that haven't been relevant other than one particular moment. Kalisto faced off against Drew Galla, the former cruiserweight champions. He brought that up that he was a former cruiserweight champion, and he did not remember. Kalisto was formerly a cruiserweight champion. Brought back up his PowerPoint to something he's not even a part of, just for Kalisto to get a Salida del Sol on goddamn Drew Gulak thanks to a distraction of Braun Strowman coming out over the entrance. And then get a pinfall out of nowhere, then power slams him just to make a promo with Tyson against Tyson Fury coming up in their match on Thursday. No one cares. Then later on, they showed some footage of him attacking him in a performance center when he's learning how to take a bump and shit like that. And I thought that was cool. Tyson Fury doesn't know how to wrestle, and I want to get him a bit trained. Like Finley coming out of nowhere, it's like, this is the best time. This is the best time. I'll see you while crowd in Saudi, bitch. Whatever. This most of this build up is trash. Most of the wrestlers are wrestling for no damn reason other than to just build up filler and no goddamn storytelling. Michael Cole also asked, when is the Yes movement returning? Or when he's officially turning babyface? Because the majority of the year, he was stuck with the new Daniel Bryan. That's specifically a title. I don't know if calling yourself the New Year, New David is going to get you anywhere, Sam. Like, it did give him a lengthy run with the world title from November to WrestleMania 35. Other than that, he didn't get into much except a couple random promos and then an accusation of attacking Roman Reigns that didn't go nowhere. Nobody remembers he won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships with Eric Rowan. Other than that, he didn't have the best 2019, and he had a great start with his heel run. He had great matches with the likes of Mustafa Ali, Kevin Owens. His Royal Rumble match that he had with AJ Styles. He had a good match with Buddy Murphy on SmackDown a few months ago. I think Daniel Bryan is still a tremendous wrestler. His heel run was quite entertainment in certain aspects, but I would really hate if they just make a cheap way for the Yes movement just to come back after what the fuck happened in Hell in a Cell. Other than that, I don't think people would care. It would be nice if we had more screen time involving him. Next up was Nikki Cross facing off against. Oh no, it ended up with Nakamura and Sami Zayn coming out, calling himself the mouthpiece and trying to think you should join us because We're all indie wrestlers. We're all indie wrestlers. That's what makes us special. Because we wrestled where nobody else of the majority could even watch us. That's what makes us special. And he just compared his wrestling to Daniel Bryan. When Bryan was doing it for a bit longer, a bit more talented than him, and a bit more compelling to see in a wrestling match. Thanks, Daniel Bryan can actually sell wrestling moves. And Shinsuke Nakamura is just there because he can barely speak English. So he did just walked away after a proposal to join Sami Zayn, and I don't think they even have a faction. Thanks, Sami Zayn is literally just a hype man, and Nakamura is a barely well and speaking English tongue Intercontinental Champion. Then we had Mandy Rose face off against Nikki Cross in a random match, and I think supposed to hype up her match she's going to have on SmackDown for the next week against Bayley for the Women's Championship after winning a six-pack challenge the previous week. And it was a decent match. Fisherman neck breaker to end off the match. It wasn't that much. Sasha Banks and Bayley came after tossing Mandy Rose to both of them coming around and just attacking her out of nowhere. This was a forgettable match. No one really cares. Because Nikki Cross barely is that compelling in the ring. Even though she isn't that bad, I take back what I say about her. She is talented, and Mandy Rose is tremendous. Except I think she overutilizes a bit of her bicycle knees, and her dyke tag team partner doesn't make her that interesting in the ring as well. Yeah. We have Caden Velasquez. Rey Mysterio hit up a promo thanking the fans, making generic thank the fans, and Dominic is doing okay. His health is fine. And blah. Cain Velasquez came out of nowhere, bringing up that he can put another scar in the face, and then Paul Heyman came out mocking most of Mysterio's efforts and Cain Velasquez and saying some blah. Now he has Dominic and then beat the shit out of him, tearing out most of his clothes. And then later on, after checking on on Dominic, Brock Lesnar came out of nowhere, hitting Mysterio with a steel chair, tossing him around the health room, and then F5ing Cain Velasquez on a literal bed. So that was pretty much that segment. Not much to build up, other than it's a personal feud, all because the kayfabe godfather of Dominic is Cain Velasquez, and that's the reason why he gets a title shot, other than Rey Mysterio that took it away after getting attacked by Brock Lesnar. And the stupidest part of this was, Dominic had nothing to say because he's been literally just beating the shit out of for the last few weeks. After the premiere episode of Raw, late October, so no one cares. Next up, we have the main event, and it was a six-man tag involving Ali, Shorty G, and Roman Reigns against Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, and King Corbin. And obviously the babyfaces won. Ali finishes off with a 450 splash. It was Superman punch, runs from the outside, Corbin doing some little thing from the barricade. I think he tossed Ali's head in the generic German suplex into a bridge over to Cesaro for a near fall by Jordy G. None of this does anything. Hulk Hogan didn't even try to pop a bit of the crowd, punching Ric Flair and letting him sit down or something to build up a bit of this match, and it didn't even do much. And now we have NXT finally being a major part of the main roster since it premiered on USA a week before Raw and SmackDown premiered with their new stages and their new pyro theme songs. Everything's different now, and it took 3 years. Yay. Other than that, this was a bad show. This gets a 3 out of 10. There was no good wrestling. There was very little build up other than the Cain Velasquez thing. The matches were mediocre and generic. There was barely any compelling reason to watch SmackDown unless you like Hulk Hogan or you like Ric Flair. Everybody had terrible promos. The show was just a joke. And I watched a lot of jokes this year. but at least they had compelling wrestling, and they want to develop young talent. Lacey Evans ain't shit. The New Day had way too much screen time. How are Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode a legit tag team right now? Bray Wyatt's segment was fun, but it had no way of being threatening for Seth Rollins before Crown Jewel. Drew Gulak is just a perennial jobber, and he's not even a funny one at that. Lacey still has a stupid beard, and the PowerPoints don't work anymore thanks for most of my time seeing him. He was being a grit and grind technical wrestler on his Cruiserweight Championship defenses after beating some guys like Tony Nese, Akira Tozawa, people like that. Daniel Bryan's interview was fine, I guess. Just no one cares, and that Nikki Cross and Mandy Rose match can just die in a hole. The show is just too much bullshit. Not enough storytelling for a pay-per-view that doesn't really deserve mentioning ever in wrestling history. And this is going to be the second time in a row Crown Jewel ever existed on pay-per-view. Other than Great Balls of Fire, that of course some of y'all won't even remember for obvious reasons. So, I'm here to tell you that this SmackDown episode can suck a big one. Dominic's fat, and Brock Lesnar shouldn't even be holding the WWE championship right now. But really, who else could? Kofi Kingston was your previous champion. The dude has 6 months of nothingness, and it's not because of the fans. Whenever you people say, "Oh, it's the fans' fault," it's the show's fault for not making something more compelling. I would watch Rob Van Dam, and most of his factor comes into being a high flyer and a mixed martial artist, and he's a low key chill guy. He's a high key chill guy. Like you can't he had a personality that made him entertaining and made him unforgettable. That's RVD, and he didn't have the most memorable reign as a world champion, but at least you remember Rob Van Dam. You remember Kofi Kingston because of New Day, and as much as they want to bury him for that, that's literally his point of being world champion. I don't know how that broke in barriers, and it was quite a feel-good story. The Kofi Mania thing, I was entertained in the Elimination Chamber match, but anything else than that, there was very little build-up other than Kofi Kingston's been here for a couple of years. Why haven't he gotten a shot? Because he ain't shit. And Brock Lesnar's just holding the world title now just for some randomly marquee match that they know they're not going to make him defend the title at Survivor Series because of the NXT stuff. So, this show gets a 3 out of 10. Tough shit. This show sucked. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you liked my terrible analysis and a harsh take on a primetime show. But literally, I'm saving my anger up. This is me in my lowest percent I'm going to show this afternoon. And this is not because I'm cold. I think I'm going to get a cold later on this week. I have a lot of stuff to do come next week and a lot of stuff to upload. No, because one fake fighting show gets me pissed. And you're right about that. You're right. And I need to watch Crown Jewel because it was on 12. I'm at school at 12, man. No one's going to have time to watch that. So suck a dick. Thank you for watching the DST show. Hopefully you liked my video. You like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more of what comes out of this mouth. So, I want to fucking die. Oh my